Welcome. How's it going, everybody? This is my first ever recording. We're going to be playing the Stanley Parable, which will begin now. And this right here is pretty much everything you need to know about the game. The end
This
is
is
never
the
the
story
end.
of a man named Stanley.
Let's watch.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Or was he?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. So, number 427. It's a
All
lucky
of his
number.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. Let's see where it takes us.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the
God.
door on his left. This
Let's
was not
disobey.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Make it a drink.
It had
Make it
really
a drink.
been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few
Alrighty.
moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah, I fucking want a drink. Give me a drink. No drinks for me.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room.
Maybe
A
coffee.
room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah, these paintings are boss. That's actually really high detail.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Hey,
It's possible
I am
that
not
this is
creepy,
why everyone
Mr.
left.
Narrator.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to
Okay.
get back to business.
Do I? No. What did they not want me to see? Caution, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I'm not lying. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of the cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. How would I pay $5,000 if I'm dead? Mr. God.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley.
Who's her?
Your chance to
My
redeem
woman.
yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh God.
That's her, Stanley.
Oh,
You
this
need
is...
to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then...
Alright. Pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Hurry up!
Okay, there we go. All right, now I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Whoa.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
You
I
bastard!
actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I don't want to come inside now. Screw you.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh, shit. Guess we're going inside. Hey, honey.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
The death?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I see. You're trying to
Look at him
teach me
there,
a
pushing
lesson.
buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now
Where's
he's
my
coming
disc at?
back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I've got a picture of a desk above my desk. What
But
the
in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Watch TV? Hell
And
yeah.
so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Here's the
First, he
TV.
imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Cue to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press O to prepare
As he
dinner.
wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line
What
that
is
weaved in
this
many
shit?
directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Tell your kids a story. Hang on. This shit on the ground looks like fucking waffles. It's a waffle floor!
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell my wife I love her.
But there is no
Love
answer.
you.
How could there possibly
Uh-oh.
be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I hate Mondays. Yes.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Fine. I won't. Hey, like that. I don't want to be at work in the morning. fuck that shit. Fucking COVID-19 out here. I ain't going to work. Guess I'm going to work.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Question
Suppose
nothing.
I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please
and Stanley
die.
pushed a button.
What?
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Okay. They're just gonna kill me. And we're back to the beginning. I hate Mondays.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a minister.
Oh shit. Right. Push the wrong button there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's go the left way this time. Ah, the meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not
Feeling a
getting
wave
fired.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let a ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and the... God damn it. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parade. And monetize free to play. Okay. Up or
Coming
down?
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Do I want to do that? I'm sort of scared of my boss. Ooh, nice office though. What's this? Executive bathroom? Come on. Come on. I want to shit in the boss's toilet. No going with it now. What's he got on his computer? Nothing. Can't go anywhere.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Whoa.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Guess I don't have any other choices here. What the hell was the boss getting into? Was he a villain? Is this the entrance to the secret lair? I must know.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, I feel free.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That looks like it was drawn by a child. Mind control facility, or let's go escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What? You serious?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Fuck you, God. Hell no.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Absolutely. Oh, shit. This looks menacing. Okay, here it goes. Was that my death? Oh!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't
I don't
know
want to watch
the
this.
story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I don't want to die. Ah!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Lovely. Oh. What? What the?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yeah, I see that now. Wait, my computer? Can I go back to work now? I promise I won't do anything bad. Employee database. Someone's playing solitaire. Button sounds. Alright. Ah, who spilt the cup of coffee? What a waste. Alright, let's continue. I guess we'll go left. See what's down here. Maintenance room. The early version of the maintenance room. That's cool. We've got like cold cut edits. From the development. September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight. Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which was still enough to win the community's approval. Wow. Oh, this is a big loop. I don't really read that. Narrator emails. Okay. Wait, they're all my office? Stanley's office? So I guess this is the narrator's house? I suppose. Countdown room. Haven't seen that yet. Freedom ending? Oh god. Alright, let's go this way.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Now keep moving forward.
Oh.
Well, that was fucking brutal. Hello. I guess we begin the game again. Alright, I think that's where I'm gonna leave this episode off. If you liked it, like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another recording soon.